Good evening, everyone. I want to specially welcome you to the first episode of My God, My Health, and I. I'm Dr. Medukam Waka, and today we're going to be discussing about a very, very popular symptom, a very, very popular complaint amongst the elderly, the young, the old, and the middle-aged, which is headache. I know most of us have experienced headache. We know what it feels like. Sometimes the headaches can be so bad we can't go to bed. It can be so bad that even when we take painkillers, they still persist. So I'm going to be explaining to you the types of headache so that we can look into, if you're experiencing headache, you can look into these categories and then find where your headache might fall under. So we're going to be talking about the primary headache. The primary headache, medically, headache is divided into the primary and the secondary headache. So the primary headache is usually a headache caused by no sinister events. What do I mean by no sinister events? It's just something that is reversible. Usually the cause is not anything that is underlying. There's no underlying medical cause for the headache. And then we have certain examples such as stress. Most of us, while we're stressed, we usually get headaches because our stress hormone level is triggered, and then it manifests as headaches. So once we get enough rest, the headache usually goes away. So it's not a big deal. It's something that can be handled with rest. Also, we have another cause of primary headache, such as alcohol intake. It has been said that taking alcohol increases a hormone in the blood, which is serotonin. So what serotonin does is that it goes to the blood vessels that surrounds the brain, and it causes the brain to kind of open up a little, so it dilates. So this dilation, the stretching of the blood vessel around the brain, triggers the sensation of headache. So in this category of persons, the best thing to do is just to do away with alcohol, do away with the drinking, and the headache is gone. Also, another cause of headache is taking of certain kinds of food, eating some certain kind of foods like nitrate-rich foods. So the compound nitrate actually acts like serotonin, the one that is triggered or is induced by alcohol intake. So what the nitrate does is the same mechanism. It goes to the blood vessels around the brain and it causes them to open up a little bit. So this stretching triggers the pain receptors, and then the body manifests this reception or this stimulus as headache. So nitrate-rich foods are very, very common in the supermarkets. We talk about sausages, we talk about ham, we talk about bacon and the likes. So most people usually have headaches when they ingest these nitrate-rich foods. So the best thing to do is just avoid cooking your meals with sausages, bacon, ham, and all the nitrate-rich foods you can get in the supermarket. Also, changes in sleep pattern is very, very common. If your body is used to having 6 hours of sleep and then you decide to cut it down to 4 hours of sleep, the body will manifest because it has not really adjusted to that shorter hours of sleep. So the person can wake up feeling still tired, feeling headache, and feeling like he or she has not had enough restorative sleep. So the best way to just to treat and manage that headache is to have a longer time of sleep, or try to increase the hours of sleep a little bit, not too suddenly. Don't just cut the hours of sleep, but try to cut it down a little bit, like gradually, just for the body to adapt to the sudden change. Also, stress as well as skipped meals is very, very common. If you don't eat enough, your body doesn't have enough glucose, your brain is not working on enough glucose, so the body begins to feel tired, weak, and then headaches can also arise. As well as stress, I've talked about stress. The best remedy for it is just to have enough rest and have enough sleep. So we're going to be talking about the secondary kind of headache. Now, I really want to take my time to talk about the secondary kind of headache because it's not like the primary kind of headache that you can just take away the causative agents, take away alcohol, take away some certain kind of foods, rest enough, eat enough, and then the headache goes away. But the secondary kind of headache is different, being that it's as a result of a medical condition. There is an underlying chronic, it can be chronic, it could be acute medical condition in an individual, such as infections, such as malaria is very, very common. Malaria is very, very endemic in most African countries. So once somebody comes down with malaria, the manifestation is usually headache, fever, nausea, and the likes. But other infections such as sinusitis is just the inflammation of the sinuses. The sinuses are a structure that are around the face region. So during the cold weathers, such as during winters rather, the flu infection usually triggers this sinus inflammation that manifests itself as headache. Also, ear infection. Some people that have ear infection usually come down with headache because, as you can see, there's a close proximity between the ear and the head. So the bacteria can travel easily from the ear to the head. So these are just some of the examples of secondary headaches that is as a result of infections. I also want to talk about hypertension. Hypertension gives a kind of headache that is it's kind of frustrating, because it can come in a way that even if you have enough sleep, even if you take painkillers, it can still decide to be there. And then it's a throbbing kind of headache, usually around the front region of your head, or sometimes at the back of the head. And then the best way to treat this headache due to hypertension is to go to the hospital, get checked up, and get treated, be placed on medications to control your blood pressure. Also, we have dehydration as well. People that are dehydrated usually have headaches because it's been said that dehydration causes the brain to shrink a little bit, so this shrinkage can trigger headaches. So these are just some of the causes of secondary headaches, and I just want us to know that if you're experiencing headache, it's not for you to be alarmed or scared. You need to ask yourself, am I getting enough sleep? Am I being stressed? If you take away all those factors, then you're on a safe side. But if you are having fever, you're having body pain, you're having body weakness, and you're having headache, you should know that, of course, it's as a result of an infection. If you had a headache or you're involved in a car accident, and you're having, even when you have healed, but you're still having headache, it's something to go to the hospital to check up. If you're having headaches that are not going away, it's something to go to the hospital and check it up. So we've come to the end of this talk show. It's kind of brief, and I hope it's very relatable. And I also want to encourage you to stay tuned and join us next week, Friday evening, for this show. And as you come, I know that you'll be able to learn a lot for yourself and adjust whatever you need to adjust in your life. And I know that the Lord will help us in Jesus' name. Goodbye, and God bless you.